Allegations that some members of Congress say should lead to a criminal investigation of the former Vice President Richard Bruce Cheney. This is a story, an allegation that started to unfold last week in an oblique, almost formless story about problems with what Congress knew about the CIA. The impact of the story wasn't recognizable at the start until the details started to fall into place one by one. On Wednesday night, we got first news of a short, mysterious letter written by Democrats on the House Intelligence Committee alleging that the CIA director, Leon Panetta, had told them that the CIA had been lying to Congress for years. A very provocative letter, to be sure, but it was very short. There were no details. Mostly the release of that letter just engendered a lot of speculation about why this was happening, what it might be referring to, and the timing, why it came out when it did, what political motivations might have been behind it. That was on Wednesday. On Thursday, we learned that CIA Director Leon Panetta was investigating whatever it was that he told Congress about that sparked that little letter from the Democrats. We learned further that this program, whatever it had never been described to the public before. And we learned that Mr. Panetta himself didn't even know about that program for the first 4.5 months of his tenure leading the CIA. Immediately after he found out about the program, literally that day, Mr. Panetta ended the program, and then the very next day he went to Congress and briefed them about it. So he at least had some sense of urgency about it. The next detail to fall into place came on Friday. It was the bombshell from Congresswoman Jan Schakowsky that the CIA didn't just neglect to inform Congress about this program. They didn't just forget. It wasn't just an oversight. She said the CIA had been ordered to not tell Congress about it. They had been overtly ordered to hide the program from Congress. On Friday night, Jan Schakowsky was a guest on this program, and I asked her who ordered the CIA to keep the program quiet. Check out her response.
There was a decision that was made not to tell the Congress. And so that's one of the things that we have to look into very carefully, why that decision was made, who made the decision not to inform the Congress. This was no mistake. They did not want us to know about this.
Do you know who made the decision?
We're going to... I can't talk about the names that were involved, but I think our investigation needs to determine exactly what conversations were had, and who signed off on those decisions.
I can't talk about the names that were involved. That was on Friday night on this show. On Saturday night, all of a sudden, yeah, we can talk about the names now. The top of the New York Times website, Saturday night, bingo. Cheney is linked to concealment of CIA project. Quote, the Central Intelligence Agency withheld information about a secret counterterrorism program from Congress for 8 years on direct orders from former Vice President Dick Cheney. That is a major bombshell. That is potentially a significant crime. The 1947 National Security Act states in very unambiguous terms, the President shall ensure that the Congressional Intelligence Committees are kept fully and currently informed of the intelligence activities of the United States, including any significant anticipated intelligence activity. Congress should be fully informed, fully and currently informed. That's in the law, as in, thou shalt not overtly order that Congress be kept in the dark. Since the Saturday night Cheney bombshell, there have been some vague disclosures about what this program actually is or might be. The Wall Street Journal today characterizing it as an assassination program, which, if true, would be illegal. The Ford administration banned that 30 years ago. But regardless of what the program is exactly, it's not the exact contours of this program that are expected to now determine Mr. Cheney's fate. It's simply the extent to which his deliberate order to deceive Congress can be proven. So far, the recently quite verbose Mr. Cheney is not talking. Members of Congress, however, are.
To have a massive program that is concealed from the leaders in Congress is not only inappropriate, it could be illegal.
I think this is a problem, obviously. This is a big problem because the law is very clear. We were kept in the dark. That's something that should never, ever happen again.
Senators Durbin and Feinstein, of course, are both Democrats. Senator Feinstein, the chair of the Intelligence Committee. Across the aisle from them, the reaction from Republicans has been rather more subdued.
This, of course, comes on the heels of a statement, unproven, by the way, of Speaker Pelosi that the CIA had lied to her about enhanced interrogation techniques. And this looks to me suspiciously like an attempt to provide political cover to her and others.
Look, the president and the vice president are the two people who have responsibility ultimately for the national security of the country. It is not out of the ordinary for the vice president to be involved in an issue like this.
But to order it be kept secret?
Well, what if it's a top secret program? Of course he and the president would both be responsible for that. Let's don't jump to conclusions is what I'm saying.
Let's don't jump to conclusions. Let's don't, of course. But let's also make sure that appropriate conclusions are drawn here.